Welcome to today's edition of the Coach's Corner. Today we are featuring Trine University, which is located in Angola, Indiana, with additional education centers in Fort Wayne, Detroit, Phoenix, Arizona, and Reston, Virginia. The university has approximately 2,300 students on its main campus in Angola and more than 14,000 students across all campuses and programs combined. Trine is recognized for its strong emphasis on career-focused education, particularly in engineering and technology, which are two of its largest and most established programs of study. In athletics, Trine is known as the Thunder and offers a growing varsity men's rugby program. The team is led by new head coach Daniel Hanson, who just joined the university in the last few weeks. Welcome, Coach Hanson.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It is wonderful to have you with us. Now, before we get into rugby, let's talk a little bit about you. Can you tell me a bit about your background and how you found yourself at Trine?
Yeah, definitely. Um, briefly, I started playing rugby my junior year of college. I was a crossover athlete, so started a little bit later, but I was very lucky with my opportunities. I was able to go to the Chicago Hounds Academy after college and compete for a roster spot, and they were going to send me to a USA development team, and that ended up becoming the Anthem out of North Carolina. And I played 2 years in the MLR, and then I had to step away due to some personal reasons. And as I was continuing to coach, Trine's opportunity became available, and one of my really close friends recommended me to apply. So I applied to go through the process and kind of see what happened. And the job was offered to me, and the opportunity is unbelievable. So I had to take advantage of it and move up to Angola.
Wonderful. And you have inherited the team from Coach Danny Breda, and they were recently playing in Division D1 Double A. Can you tell me a
Yes.
bit more about your rugby program?
Yeah, so the program right now is very supported from the school. We have full-time athletic trainers, full-time strength and conditioning staff. We have all the facilities every other athletic team has access to on campus, football weight rooms, basketball weight rooms. We get to use them just like every other team does. We have transportation to and from games. We have different services for our athletes. We have housing services. We have meal services. So the program is growing, and it's a very exciting time. The current group of guys have been very committed in this transition period in terms of going hard and preparing for what's next. I keep encouraging them that good things are coming. It's just a matter of doing the work and allowing those things to happen.
So you mentioned facilities, and I know there's a big building project going on right now. Can you talk about the construction project for the internal facility as well as your coaching team?
Yeah, in terms of the facility construction, Tron has been very good on renovating the campus. I think there's only one building that hasn't been renovated in 20 years, and that's planned to be under construction in the next 18 to 26 months. But we're currently building a 94,000 square foot dome facility for us to train in the colder seasons in the winter months. This will give us a very unique opportunity over our competition because while some teams will have to modify their training sessions and what they can do, we'll be able to still train and hopefully host competitions in there as well. And in
Great.
terms of the team, we're building a team that is focused on the greater good of the team. I'm trying to take the American culture out of rugby as much in the sense of it's very individualized. Being a football athlete, I saw how individualized sports can be. Being able to play rugby, I really understood brotherhood in a different light and understood what it means to be a team. So I'm excited to build a culture that embodies those principles and creates outstanding young men.
And it's not just you, right? You have assistant coaches as well.
Yeah, I have a couple great assistant coaches. They call themselves the Commission of Fort Wayne. They assist with us in Indiana Tech, so they've been a great help to both programs, and they do more for the sport than people know. And it's a huge shout out to the commission.
Great. And do you have athletic trainers or anything else behind the scenes that people should be aware of?
Yeah, so we have a full-time athletic trainer that is available for all of our training sessions, for taping, for rehab. We have a support staff of strength and conditioning coaches that assist with lifts, and I'm also a certified strength and conditioning coach, so it's kind of a double decker for me being the rugby coach. I can also be a strength and conditioning coach for the boys as well. So the sessions are a little bit worse for them having a strength and conditioning coach as a head coach, but it'll be worth it in the long run.
Absolutely. No pain, no gain, right?
Right, exactly.
So I mentioned that you play in Division D1 AA. Who do you compete against? How far do you have to travel when it's game time? What does that look like?
Yeah, so luckily for us, we're in a pretty centralized location of a lot of major cities. We have Detroit about 2 hours north of us. We have Toledo and Cleveland over in Ohio about an hour to 3 hours. So, and then Chicago's 2 hours away, and Indianapolis is 2 hours as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to play some really good competition. Um, we're playing a mix of NCR and CRAA schools just because of the location of schools. It's hard for competition's sake to just play a strictly CRAA schedule, but with schools like an hour north of us that are in NCR, it doesn't make sense for us to travel 6 hours to a CRAA team when we can play fairly competitive teams just an hour north of us. Um, so we'll play a mix of D1A CRAA teams, D1A NCR teams, D1 AA, NCR, and CRAA teams. We want to play a lot of rugby. That's my objective is to have a 10 to 12 15s calendar year and then 4 to 5 sevens tournaments. So just trying to
And
get as much rugby as possible.
one of the things that I think is a great advantage at Trine is the ability for guys to play. So,
Yeah.
what size of a roster are you aiming for when you're at full speed?
Yeah, realistically, I would like to have two full competitive sides and then a third side that can compete with other teams' third sides. I think that gives us the best training methods. Being able to train 15 on 15 without um, being short two guys on one side gives realistic pictures during the week. So when it comes to Saturday and we're playing a very fast connected team, we can be there step for step with them. Having a total roster of about 50 guys would be ideal for me. I think 50 is a healthy pool in terms of losing a couple guys to injuries. We'll still be next man up and not being scramble mode moving guys from position to position.
Sure. And you mentioned playing on a Saturday. What does your typical rugby week look like with training, lifting, playing, travel?
Yeah, so right now it's kind of going with the weather and the availability we have with me being appointed so late into the beginning of the next semester. I wasn't really able to schedule any time. So right now we're lifting sometime between we'll either do morning lifts or the boys will have programs sent out to them that they need to complete as a group or on their own. Um, and then we'll train, like today we're training inside one of our basketball gyms from 4 to 6. And then if we're out on the football field, they have given us access from 7 to 9 tonight. Um, and it's just a matter of working with the other sports teams in the university to create a cohesive environment because while we are in season, we're not necessarily competing this month. So understanding that giving priority to teams who are competing this week and competing tomorrow is very important in the sense that they'll respect us when we're in competition. So it's very important to create a respectful environment.
And I think the winter is tricky anywhere. I've heard from lots
Yeah,
and lots of coaches how they're all juggling schedules and sharing facilities because there's 6 inches of snow on the ground or the ground's
right.
frozen or whatever.
Yeah.
So on your squad, do you have any international players, and what do you think is the role or the place for internationals on your team?
Yeah, I think there's a massive role for international players to come in and support American development. Our captain right now, Tom, is an English guy who has came in and really elevated the program. Tom is who they look to when things are going tough, and he's working hard and he's making sure that the boys are keeping the energy up during the trainings. And Tom has been very good about taking the walk-ons on one-on-one while I'm leading the rest of the session and really helping catch their skills up that he can while the other boys are focusing on my instruction. Tom has been a huge help in assisting the walk-ons in terms of getting their skills up and helping them see the field and understand what's going on. So internationals played a huge part in my development. My mentor, Joe Pikatoa, Tongan International, has really he really helped me evolve my game in terms of how I thought, how I receive information. So internationals will always have a special place to me in terms of being able to come in and provide an experience impact that isn't available in America. If you can get a 20-year-old who's been playing rugby 15 years already and has 15 years of experience before he comes to college, and then he can join our environment and elevate it another level, that's amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, that's great. So when you are talking to recruits, what do you look for in a top recruit? And on the other hand, what do you consider a red flag?
Yeah, one of my favorite questions is have the kids tell me about themselves as an athlete, and I think that's a great answer because that's a great question because if you get somebody that's I have the best skills, I can kick a 50 meter, and just goes on and on about themselves, but won't necessarily say any of their weaknesses. That's an interesting that's kind of a red flag to me because if you don't think you have anything that you can work on, there's an issue because you can always sharpen the sword. You can always develop a little more. You can always focus on what's important. And then some of the things that really stand out to me is someone who I want to get on my team is somebody who um, is humble, who talks about competing, who shows good characteristics of being a good teammate. I was at a college, I was at a college showcase this weekend, and I just was able to get some odds on some kids I was talking to, and to be able to see them in an environment like that, work with freshman and sophomore kids when it's such a high stakes, high pressure environment where in such a team sport, you need everyone to be on to execute. So being able to be a good leader and be a good teammate are very important things to me. And competing is a big key. If a kid just wants to come have a good time, that's their college plan. But we're trying to accomplish some things at Trine, and we need people who want to come learn and compete and build to something bigger than themselves.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank
one
you.
of the things that is a big decision maker or an influencer in people's decisions is the cost of attendance at a college. Can you tell me a bit about scholarships that are available at Trine for both domestics and international players?
Yeah, so we'll kind of start with international players. Um, our international department does offer a global scholar award that's roughly around $20,000. It's each situation is a little different, I believe. I think the award may change as well. So around $20,000 of awards per year to help. And then for our domestic kids, we can offer some very aggressive scholarship awards in terms of academics. We can offer close to, I think, 90% of tuition off. I'm not sure how close it can get, but for our domestic students who excel in school and are out of state and can stack a lot of our stackable awards up, the packages get very aggressive and very competitive in terms of close to being a free ride. But we don't offer any full rides currently, and that's something that we'll definitely work towards. But our admissions office can put together some pretty competitive packages for students who excel in school and excel on the field.
And one of the differentiators for me for Trine is that engineering program because
Yeah,
there are a lot of schools that are great at rugby. There aren't a lot of schools that are great at rugby and have an engineering degree.
right. Yeah,
So wonderful.
sorry.
No,
It
please
creates a
carry on.
pretty, it creates a very good opportunity for me to recruit. Engineers are hard workers. They understand that their career path is going to take a lot of hours and a lot of dedication. So to get people who already have that mentality to play rugby as well, it creates a very good environment. It creates an environment of a lot of them doing the work on their own. So I'm very privileged to be at a school with great academics like business. Our business school is also very competitive. We offer a 4-year master's degree. You can get a bachelor's in 8 different subcategories of business, business related degrees, and then you'll get a master's of business administration too in 4 years. So that's very nice. Our Doctor of Physical Therapy 3+3 program is very unique in the sense that you can go to the same school for your PT schooling as your undergrad. So you can come play rugby for 3 to 4 years, and then once you have to go do your doctorate programs in Fort Wayne, it's a little bit different. It's a little more of a challenge, and hopefully there's a potential to keep those guys involved as they're going through their physical therapy school. But in in the worst case scenario, it's a great opportunity to have a guys for a couple of years and then help them get a doctor of physical therapy in 6 years. And in some comparisons, it could be an 8-year program.
Well, and physical therapy is such a competitive field to get into. If you're already in a program, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, 1,000%, a thousand
Great.
percent.
So finally, my last question for you is if as you're new to the neighborhood, can you tell me a little bit about the community around Angola and or the community of Angola and also your proximity to other cities and where you would fly into? Paint a picture for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, so Angola is a small town community. It's a college town. They're very supportive of the college. There's a lot of loyalty to the university. So connecting with them as a rugby coach, I'm very excited to start a grassroots program, hopefully through the YMCA or the local school system, to start developing some more fans and some future Thunder athletes. Yeah, they've been very supportive. Everyone is friendly here. Everyone wants the school to do well. It's a very exciting time in Angola. In terms of the location of the school, Angola is northeast Indiana, but it's about as northeast as you can go. You can go 20 minutes north and be in Michigan. You can go 20 minutes east and be in Ohio. We're very close to a lot of major cities. Off the top of my head, we're about 2.5 hours from Chicago, Indianapolis. We're an hour away from South Bend. We're an hour away from Toledo. 2 hours from Detroit. So we're in a very centralized location. If you do fly in, you'll probably end up flying into Fort Wayne's Airport, which is a 40-minute drive. So there, so we're in a pretty centralized city. So if boys do come here and want to explore the rest of the United States, you're in a very centralized location to do so, with a lot of major cities very close.
Great, thank you. And I know that you will be playing 15s in the fall, you play sevens in the spring. So I want to just wish you the best with all of your upcoming games and your recruitment efforts and getting your feet under your desk at Trine.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the support. I'm excited to be here and excited to build at Tron.
Excellent.